You've seen the videos. A soldier comes home after 2 years overseas. Their dog rounds the corner, freezes, and then loses their mind completely. Spinning, crying, jumping, shaking. Not the calm greeting they give the mail carrier. Not even the excited welcome they give a favorite neighbor. Something else entirely. Something that looks unmistakably like recognition. But you've probably wondered, is that real? Does the dog actually know who just walked through the door? Or are they simply reacting to excitement in the room, picking up on the energy of the moment, responding to a stranger who smells faintly familiar? And before this video ends, I'll explain why some dogs recognize their owners instantly after years apart, while others hesitate for a few seconds first. The answer is more remarkable than most people expect, and it starts not with what your dog sees, but with something far older, far deeper, and far more powerful than sight. It starts with the nose. To understand how a dog remembers you, you first have to understand what a dog's nose actually is. Because it is not simply a better version of a human nose. It is a fundamentally different instrument, operating at a scale that is almost impossible to fully grasp. Humans have approximately 6 million olfactory receptors. Dogs have up to 300 million. The part of a dog's brain dedicated to analyzing scent is proportionally 40 times larger than the equivalent region in the human brain. When a dog smells something, they are not receiving a vague impression the way we do. They are reading a detailed, layered, information-dense signal that tells them species, individual identity, emotional state, health status, recent history, and more simultaneously. And here is what matters most for this question. Olfactory memory is the longest lasting and most stable form of memory in the mammalian brain. The neural pathway between the nose and the brain's memory centers is more direct, more immediate, and more durable than any other sensory pathway. A scent memory does not degrade the way a visual memory does. It does not blur or distort over time the way a sound can. It stays. Your dog encoded your scent the first time they were close to you, and that encoding does not expire. What the research actually shows. In 2014, researchers at the Azabu University in Japan conducted a study specifically examining long-term scent recognition in dogs. They found that dogs could reliably identify the scent of their bonded humans after periods of separation, and that the response was not simply recognition of a familiar smell, but an emotionally differentiated response. The dogs showed measurably different physiological reactions to their owner's scent compared to the scent of a familiar but non-bonded human. A separate line of research from Emory University used brain imaging to measure how dogs respond to different scents. When dogs detected the scent of their bonded human, the caudate nucleus, the brain's reward center, the region associated with positive anticipation and emotional connection, activated significantly more than it did for any other scent. Not food, not a favorite toy. Their person. Your smell, to your dog, registers in the same part of the brain that registers things they love most. And that registration, researchers believe, persists across years of separation. But what about sight? Do they recognize your face? This is where the science gets more nuanced and more interesting. Dogs do not rely on visual recognition the way humans do. Their eyesight is not built for fine facial detail. But that does not mean they don't process faces at all. A 2015 study from the University of Helsinki found that dogs do track human faces and respond differently to familiar faces than to strangers, and that they show a measurable preference for looking at their bonded human's face over any other human face. The difference is this. For humans, face recognition is the primary system. For dogs, it is one layer in a much richer recognition process. When your dog sees you after years apart, they are simultaneously processing your smell, your voice, your gait, the specific way you walk, the rhythm of your movement, the posture that is uniquely yours. Each of these is a separate signal, and all of them, together, Create something that is more certain and more complete than any single sense could provide. A dog who goes blind can still recognize their owner. A dog who goes deaf can still recognize their owner. Take away every sense except smell, and most dogs can still identify the person they bonded with. That is how deep this runs. The voice they never forgot. Researchers at the University of Sussex found that dogs process human speech in a lateralized way. The left hemisphere handles the words, the right hemisphere handles the emotional tone. When dogs hear a familiar, loved voice, both sides of the brain activate together in a response that is neurologically distinct from how they process any other sound. Dogs remember voices not as a vague impression, but as a specific, emotionally encoded signal stored with the same priority the brain gives to survival information. Your voice is connected to safety, to comfort, to every good thing your dog has ever experienced. That association runs deep, and years of silence do not erase it. What happens in their body during reunion? When a dog who has been separated from their bonded human for a long period finally encounters them again, what happens is not simply emotional, it is physiological. Studies measuring cortisol, the body's primary stress hormone in dogs during reunion scenarios, have found a significant and rapid decrease. The moment the dog makes contact with their owner, their heart rate shifts, their breathing changes, their body physically moves from a state of arousal into a state of regulated calm at a speed that does not happen with any other trigger. The spinning, the crying, the shaking that we see in reunion videos, that is not performance. That is a nervous system responding to something it has been missing. A body that has been in a low-level state of incompleteness, suddenly, in one moment, becoming whole. Some animal behaviorists describe it as the canine equivalent of relief. Not just happiness relief, the kind that only comes after something that was lost has been found again. The dog who waited. Animal shelters quietly document this every year. Dogs surrendered when circumstances changed, who continue to watch the door with a quality of attention that staff describe as different from general alertness. They are waiting for a particular scent, a particular sound, a particular shape of movement in the hallway. Dogs do not mourn the way humans do, but they remember. And what they remember when it matters, they remember with a fidelity that outlasts almost anything we would expect of them. How long is long enough to forget? This is the question most people actually want answered. And the honest answer is that current research does not suggest a clear expiration point for canine long-term memory when it comes to bonded humans. Studies have documented recognition after separations of 1 year, 2 years, 3 years. Anecdotal accounts from verified reunions, soldiers returning, owners recovering from illness, families reuniting after circumstances of loss suggest recognition after separations of 5 years or more. What the research does indicate is that the depth of the original bond matters. A dog who lived with you for 5 years before separation will carry that scent memory, that voice memory, that identity more durably than a dog who knew you for 3 months. The bond itself is part of what gets encoded, and the stronger it was, the longer it holds. The reveal. Here's what all of this means. Put simply, your dog did not forget you. They cannot forget you, not in the way we fear when we imagine years of silence and distance. The scent you carry is encoded in a part of their brain that does not fade the way photographs do. The sound of your voice lives in both hemispheres of their brains simultaneously, connected to every good thing they have ever associated with being alive. If you walk through a door today that you hadn't walked through in 3 years, your dog would know. Not because of the shape of your face or the color of your jacket, because you smell like you. You move like you. Your voice sounds like yours. And to a brain built the way a dog's brain is built, those signals together add up to something unmistakable and irreplaceable. They remember you. They have always remembered you. We worry when we have to leave them, that time will wear away what we built together, that the months or years will slowly replace us with absence. but the science says otherwise. Your dog carries you with them, in their nose, in their brain, in the part of them that knows what safety feels like. You are not someone they once knew. You are someone their whole body recognizes every time, no matter how long it has been. Has your dog ever recognized you after a long time apart? Tell us what happened in the comments, and if this changed the way you think about what your dog remembers, subscribe. Every week, we go deeper into the hidden world of what your dog carries with them and what they're trying to tell you.